Oh, hello everyone. It's Susie Crypto Granny here. The date's the 8th of January 2023, and this is a must listen and a view today. Please subscribe, press the button for notifications. We'll be doing a lot more videos this year, and there's a lot of information that's going to come to this market this year, and it's going to be very exciting because I'm expecting an extremely bullish year for cryptocurrency markets. Yes, I've said it. I think the market is going to go up a lot higher this year. Now, what I'm talking about today is Flair and the Flair token and the network of the system and the distribution. And then I'll be talking about Ripple and XRP updates versus the SEC, okay? But before I do that, I just like to start with something social. I went out the other night with some friends from Israel and my partner, and we went to this place called the Amsterdam Ice Bar. It was fantastic, honestly. It was fairly cheap. I think it was about 20 odd euro or something for 3 drinks. You go into an ice bar where it's minus 9.4 degrees. I've never been in anything under 3 degrees, so I was freezing. You put on coats. All the drinks are made out of ice glasses and everything. It's fantastic. You get tokens. You can buy 3 drinks. It's awesome. I really enjoyed it. It's like, going over to the other side of the world or something, in this ice thing, and they have a ship and all this sort of business. And I'd like to say thank you, yell out to the team at Amsterdam Ice Bar. They were awesome. Daniel, Renato, Martin, and Joe. So, please go there. It was a great deal of fun, I got to say. So don't forget to subscribe to my my YouTube, because I'm doing a lot more stuff, okay? Here's a disclaimer. This is education only. We're not financial advisors and all that sort of stuff, okay? So let's get on with this. Flair token. Now, we know the eligibility for the Flair token was the 12th of December 2020 when the ledger was cut off to how many XRP crypto coins you owned, and you get a proportion of the Flair token as at the 12th of December 2022, and you had to be a part of the exchanges and certain wallets to be a part of that Flair allocation, okay? Really important. The first Flair distribution is on the 9th of January, so we're expecting big things. The Flair token currently is on BitTrue. It is priced at about 45 cents. I think this thing could go like a meme token. This is awesome. I've been waiting for Flair. I love the system. The network is fantastic. Now, if you have 1 XRP, you get 0.0151095 Flair, okay? And this figures about 15% of the total distribution of the Flair token, which is 100 billion, okay? And the remaining 85% will be in monthly installments over 36 months. It depends on community voting and all this sort of thing, okay? So, and how many things get allocated, right? So basically, the Flair network itself is really, it's on XRP, RippleNet network. It basically uses RippleNet as a layer, as the main net, if you want to call it that, the main network, and Flair network itself is a layer 1 on top of Ripple's network. Now, the main function of this was to bring smart contracts to other cryptocurrency mainnets or networks that didn't have cryptocurrency, okay? So very quickly, other cryptocurrencies that didn't have networks were things like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Algorand, Firework, and Stellar. Sorry, I should say that didn't have smart contracts. They had networks, these are the main nets, but they wanted to introduce smart contracts using Flair, okay? So just going back fairly quickly, as I said, Flair is the layer 1 on top of the RippleNet, and it's mainly created to create smart contracts to other cryptocurrency assets on blockchains that don't have smart contracts, okay? And this is huge. Flair, you can trade on Flair and all sorts of things, okay? Between Flair, FLR, and Flair, the asset, asset if it's FXRP or F Litecoin or whatever have you, okay? It's a very exciting network, and I can't wait excuse me, for the network to start. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, the tokens have multiple uses, obviously to participate with governance, collateral, transactions, fees, staking, and all this sort of thing. The network itself also uses Avalanche Consensus Protocol, which is excellent. As I said, they bring smart contract functionality to other mainnets, okay? Also, you get more Flair if you hold XRP. It's a great story, okay? Entirely decentralized price feeds, Ethereum virtual machine-based smart contracts great security acquisition. It's a bridging between non-smart contract assets and other networks, okay? The token itself basically is used to trade with, but also to provide liquidity within the system and to incentivize Flair time series Oracle, collateralize with other third parties, participation in the network, and also to stop spamming, okay, because you have to pay a transaction fee. So I'm talking quick, guys, because I want to make this quick, because I know people on YouTube don't watch videos very long. Like some people say they watch it for about 2 minutes or something, which is pretty amazing, okay? So on Flair, the token is FLR, and then if you swap into an asset on Flair, it becomes like F Bitcoin, FXRP, or F Litecoin, or whatever, okay? So if we look at this, the allocation is the community allocation of 28.5 billion. Don't forget, 100 billion was issued, 20 billion goes to the community members, 9.8 to the foundation and the ecosystem. So a total of 58.3 billion. Now, if you want to look this up, please look up this internet connection here. It's seriously, seriously good. Gives you all the detail about the Flair token, which you need to know if you're holding this token, okay? If we go to other allocations, team advisors and backers, another 5.7. Obviously, liquidity in the system, advisors that have been selling, all sorts of things, and that's a total of 22.5, okay? Now, if you look at the overall summary of the token, we've got community allocations, 58.3 bill, out of 100, so it's 58%. Flair entities for product development investment, 22%, and Flair team advisors, 19%. Over the 36-month, all those tokens will be distributed into the system, the liquidity system, and to the client advisors and the team members, the founding members, okay? So we know they've got 100 billion. Technically, they can increase that supply, but clearly they will want to reduce the 100 billion out there as time goes on, okay? And people that don't take up their Flair tokens, that will be burnt very, very quickly, okay? Very quickly indeed. So there are two parts of public distribution. The first equates to, this much being done as of the wallets on the 12th of 12/20 that people held XRP, and then the remaining 85% of Flair will be distributed in 36 months, okay? So 15% from whoever was holding on the 12th of 12/20 in terms of XRP, and we know one XRP was about 0.152 or something Flair, okay? And we just have to see how that gets allocated over time, because it has an important consequence in terms of how much supply in terms of Flair token to where the price is. And as I said, the price at the moment is 45 cents. Now, if we look at this over the time period from this again, this Flair network tokenomics, all the supply will be out by literally 36 months, three years, okay? And you can see that as time goes on, how quickly it ramps up, right? Ramps up very quickly. 6 months, through to 50, through 18 months, already 50 million are out there, and 36 months, everything will be out there. And I think that's a great story in itself. And as I said, you do get a distribution of a certain amount depending on how much XRP you are holding, okay? And I love this story. I love this story. It's fantastic, fantastic story. And I expect Flair to go very, very well. Flair token currently is on BitTrue, okay? And as I said, it was trading on BitTrue before at 45 cents. Now, we do know there's a lot of participating exchanges in this, well over 50, Binance, OKEx, Kraken, KuCoin. If you want a full list of that, I'll show you the internet site to go to get that full list. Also, the 7 Japanese exchanges participating. Bitbank said they're going to anticipate, which is one of the first listed in Japan as well. So they're getting a lot of traction to who is actually holding and participating in the Flair token. Now, as you can see, as of the 9th of January, you can go to this here, Flair Network exchange support. You see it's all the big exchanges all over the place, okay? And it's getting great support everywhere, which is fantastic for Flair, and it's fantastic for Ripple. If you go to the Japanese exchanges, it's 7, and we know them. SBI VC Trade is a big supporter of Ripple, a huge supporter in Japan. They're big, big, big. Also, the connected to Mitsubishi Financial Management, and also, what else? There's a big bank, Nomura, as well, Mitsubishi Nomura Bank, as well as Mitsubishi as well, which is a huge bank in Japan as well. This is a super story. Now, Flair is also connected to Songbird. If you're holding Flair, you get some SGB. It's connected to Polkadot. And you have to make sure that you're connected to the right wallets and the right exchanges to get those airdrops, okay? Really, really important. So Flair really fuels cross-chain breakthrough with smart contracts being offered to other blockchain networks that don't have them, okay? If you look at the Flair token, this was taken off this site again, Flair Network Tokenomics, 45 cents is where it is at the moment. The range been from 19 cents to 70 cents. I'm expecting that range to go a lot higher in literally when this thing starts trading on all the different exchanges. I love the Flair token. I think it'll do incredibly well, and I think it could even operate as a meme, okay? Performance of Flair over the years has been quite bad. If you look at 6 months, it was great. But year to date, it's down, 5% against the US, Bitcoin 7, Ethereum 10, and USD Tether 5, which is not too bad. But I am expecting us to get some performance out of this token, okay? Now let's go to Ripple and XRP updates very quickly. The SEC, what is happening? We know it's been going on for 2 years at least, okay? And we know it's with the judge and Lisa Torres. They're preparing a verdict. You've got all the information there. Brad Garlinghouse is quite confident. He believes that he'll beat the SEC simply because he believes that XRP is a utility coin and not a security, as the SEC says. Now, we know all about the Hinman thing and everything else, and we're waiting for all the documents and everything else. How did they decide that Ethereum and Bitcoin were securities and XRP wasn't? Well, it looks like there's a massive conflict of interest there, because the lawyers at the day in around 2018 were also, there's conflict of interest because they're also doing work for Ethereum and the advisory side. Now, Mr. Pat Riley said that there's a bigger picture here about XRP and RippleNet not wanting to be used by the Chinese, and there might be some influence there. He believes that that could be a war, and that the Chinese don't want the US to be using RippleNet and XRP. So that's an interesting idea. Could be true, may not be true. I don't know. But anyway, so now what are the important dates? Of the 9th of January, we want to see the Hinman documents, right? We want to see them, right? Now, everyone's been putting up all their memos and documents, and God knows they're a media courier, whether we're friends of Ripple and all this sort of business. And that's still going on. But also, don't forget about the expert witnesses. Who are these expert witnesses that the SEC is using, and they wanted to remain anonymous? Now, you can't have that. There's a law that I mentioned to you last week under 702 or something that they, the expert witness, who are they? What do they have? What's their technology? Do they know cryptocurrency encryption? Do they know RippleNet technology? Whatever, okay? And they've got to prove that. So the big dates are the 9th of January and the 18th of January. For Ripple Labs and the SEC to submit oppositions against applications to seal documents. If there are no more extensions of additions to these, then it will be time for all eyes to be on the outcome of Judges Torres' deliberation. Okay, this is going to be very interesting, people. Parties have to submit their omnibus motions by the 9th of January 2023. The debate motion is about the experience of the key expert witnesses the SEC are using. Do they have the right experience for a start? Do they understand cryptocurrency technology? Do they trade in the markets? Do they understand DeFi, everything? Do they understand RippleNet? Do they understand that RippleNet is better than the internet? It's the biggest thing since the internet, okay? So the biggest dates are the 9th of January and the 13th. So keep an eye out for those dates. I'll continue to update you, and the 18th. So we've got the 9th of January, 13th of January, and the 18th, guys and girls. Going to be very interesting. There's my disclaimer, people. Try to do this as quick as I can. Thank you very, very much for listening. Please click that subscribe button. I'm getting more like the Americans now. Click the subscribe button, because we're going to do a lot of stuff this year, people. And we're always ahead of the curve, okay? Always ahead of the curve, and we know what we're talking about. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you very soon. And please do look after your animals. Look after yourself. Always look after your baby animals. Animals treat you better than real people, believe me. Thanks very much for listening.